Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Import English. This is me again, and in this podcast, I think I'm gonna do more podcasts and audios like this in the future to improve your listening and speaking. I have done several podcasts, but most of the listeners, they're, I feel that they're more interested in um, videos. Usually, I'm not like the other teachers. I usually focus on interesting ideas, interesting topics. Don't want to teach like verbs and nouns and adjectives. I just When I was a learner before I became an English language teacher with my American teacher, as you might know, AJ Oak. He usually the reason that I'm keeping in touch with him is because he talks a lot about the different topics. Of course, I had attended his course, and then I learned more about his ideas, about the teaching, which he uses the TPRS, total physical through storytelling. This is what I use with the EME, of course. Of course, I have to adjust some of the ways, methods of the TPRS to fit in our culture. So, what I'm gonna do is that I have decided that I will do more podcasts. Honestly, I really want to do the videos, but I don't find topics interesting. So I read books. I read books and listen to English. I'm still a learner, even though I'm a teacher right now. But I'm still a learner. But I'm improving. My reading. I mean, not in English. Sometimes in English. Sometimes, usually, most of the time, I read, you know, books in Burmese. Um, so in this in this podcast, I'm gonna be talking about the freedom and the management and the book that I read. Uh, so three topics basically. So the one is the freedom, the second is the books. The management, and that third one is the book that I read already. So I finished. So let's get started. So let's start with the freedom. So freedom. What do I mean by this? So when I was younger, I did not know much about the freedoms. I was just an average kid, right? A regular kid. But when I'm aging well, when I'm getting older, I start to think about the freedom that I'm a night person. I like to stay up late and I like to do things, read books and listen to English, planning my school and my business, so things like that. Usually, I like to plan and do things at night. I feel that nights are more peaceful and calm and relaxed. So that's why I choose to do things at night. So by the way, the freedom, right? Sometimes, right? Maybe the listeners, like you're listening to this the podcast. Maybe you are an employee. You're working somewhere else for a company. Maybe you're a freelancer. Maybe you are just a student. I don't know, but the thing is that when we become an adult, of course we have to work, right? We get a job and we have to work. Once we get into the working environment, we never think about our life, right? This is what I felt when I was working, for companies and corporations, right? Things like that. I I have worked for like 6 years, in lots of different companies. But then I asked myself that I don't have free time. So I wanted to have free time. So that's why, this is a long story, right? Why I became an English language teacher and on and on and on. But the thing is that now, right, I have my business and I'm teaching. Of course, I have free time than working for someone else, right, or a company. But sometimes, right, in our life, we never think that we we just go with the um, what is necessary, right? Not what is important to us, not what we want, right? We never go with what we want, right? We always follow and go with what we don't want and what we don't need. But we have to, because on one hand we need money, but on the other hand um, we have we don't have a lot of choices, right? Even worse, right now in this modern time, what is happening? We have a lot of struggles and difficulties and problems, you know. But the thing is that now I have free time, right? I mean, not the free time that you take a leave or a day off from your job or holidays. And I'm not saying those free days or those free time. I'm saying that the time that you think about your life, the time that you are really free. I mean, you got the free time that you're doing things that you want to do, and you left doing them. You it can be about reading, it can be about listening to something, it can be about creating, it can be about designing something. But if you have that free time, that the freedom that not just one day, but maybe 1 hour, 2 hours every day. You think about your life and what you want to do. Maybe even though you don't know what you want to do, but you just try a lot of different things and you become interested in that. So the idea is that when we have the free time, that you know, usually people, they get that free time, they have the holidays and they have days off, but they just hang out with their friends, go shopping, sometimes they read the books. You can call them, those are free time, but I mean, the time that you think really deeply about your life, and things that you're doing. Like for example, you pick up a book and you read the book, but then the book that you're reading is about how can I say that? What's the word here? The book that you're reading maybe is about it will be a book about maybe changing your life, for example, or in the book there will be some questions that you have to ask yourself, what you want to do and what you want to be, and for example, Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? The book that I read many years ago. After I read the chapter 2, I didn't remember honestly what the chapter 2 was, but after I read the chapter 2, it changed my life. So I mean that kind of freedom, right? I was reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I got the ideas. The idea was really important to me. It helped me actually uh, to become a completely different person. Um, so you need to have the freedom. Now nowadays I'm staying up late to do what I love, to give myself a really real freedom, so that I could think about myself. I have reached some points that I wanted to be before I reached this target, this point, because of the freedom. I remember that before my school was big enough, I was reading books and I stay up late. I remember I just give myself, even though I was working for some companies, some schools, and I was giving myself free time. Just giving myself free time means reading books, and I just stopped and I just did something else. Usually, most of them were, how can I say that? They weren't nonsense things. They were usually, you know, something that helped me, you know, to become who I am right now. So yes, so freedom, right? So give yourself freedom. Uh, I'm not talking about the holidays and days off and you just do relax on that day and do nothing, or right. I just want you to do something that will change your life. You should have the freedom. You should have free time, and at those times, you just have to do something, read the book, listen to something, and you think about your life and what you need to do and what you should do to improve your life. All right, so you will become a different person in a way. All right. So the second thing, the management. Um, the management means when you, now things are happening a lot, right? Everything is getting worse. Whatever you are doing, wherever you go, you see a lot of the bad stuff that make us feel weak and do nothing. So I just want to say that if we have a crisis, if we have a bad situation, maybe you have no hope, maybe you have bad feelings, you should learn something. This is what I learned from my teacher, that if you think that your life has a problem, your life is full of problems and difficulties and struggles and everything is getting worse, this is when where you have to improve something day by day. Not a lot, you have to learn something. You have to go beyond than the problem itself. If you feel the problem is big enough, that you have to make basically lots of problems, and also at the same time you're learning, right? Of course you're making the problems a lot than the problems that you're having, but you're also trying to improve. So basically you have to learn something. Okay, you have to learn something, even though you have no hope. Learn something. Learn English. Listen to some positive stuff. Read books. Now, the management, right? It's about you have to manage. You have to manage yourself in this difficult time, this tough time that we're facing. So right now, right? Of course, I don't feel well, but honestly, I read a book every day. Uh, the book that I'm reading right now is CIA Autobiography. Um, I didn't finish yet, but I'm reading still. Um, so, but I cannot read the whole book. I see. I cannot sit because I have to do other things. Right? I have to teach. I have to manage two schools. Right. So, and I have other things too. So I have to manage my time. Right. If I don't improve, if I don't learn something, then I will feel more bad. Right. I will feel terrible. I won't feel happy. So right, and then after, like, let's say today is over, right, and I look back at the day, and I can see that, well, today I read a book, well, today I listened to English, right, well, today I thought about my business, my school, right, how I can run in this tough time. So basically, I manage myself. Then I just give myself 30 minutes for reading and 30 minutes for listening to English. Sometimes more, but 30 minutes. So 1 hour per day makes me, I think, will make me a different person in the future. Okay, but so that your mind is not distracting. Uh, if you don't have something to do, you think about the bad situations happening. We can sit and we can feel bad, of course, but we have to learn. I want you to learn something, okay? You have to go beyond or faster than the problems, right? So that the problems are not the problems anymore, right? So yeah, you have to manage. All right. The final thing that the book, most of the people, I think, they don't want to read the book, is called Dumbing Us Down. Dumbing Us Down is an English book. It's about the education. That we feel that we get the education by learning or attending schools and going to school. Right? School is the center of where we get education most of the time. In this book, the author, the writer, John Tilagato, he wrote that there are many ways to educate ourselves. But in Myanmar, right, we are a lot of our parents. A lot of parents, actually, they are very busy with their work. They have to make money, earn money, so they cannot take care of their children. And that's what I had. When I was younger, my mother was a teacher. My father was a merchant. My father was a merchant, and so they didn't have time to teach us, right? But in the book said there are many ways to educate yourself. It's not the degrees, it's not the certificates, it's not the diploma, right? In the book also, the book says that in the past, right, Plato, right, the very the best philosophers and writers, very, very old times, they could read and write, and they were very educated, well educated than us. So if you're interested in education, like maybe you believe that there are many ways, or you don't believe there's only one way, you have to read the book. You should read the book, actually, Dumbing Us Down, by John Tilagato. Okay, Dumbing Us Down. 1 second. I will tell the name. It's spelled like DUMBINGSUS and DOWN, down. Dumbing Us Down. Just the book is basically about the hidden curriculum of the compulsory schooling. So, but he doesn't recommend to go to school. He tells how the education system most of the education systems work internationally around the world. He is American, so he talks really deeply about how the American education is, uh, things that we don't see about education and schooling, uh, like how the schools are built, how the schools are created, and what is their purpose of school. Um, so a lot of different things. I like the book because after I can speak English, right? I can understand English. So, but I'm still learning. But because we have this ability of this English, so we can do a lot of, and we can read a lot of things in English. This is this is a good thing actually. If you can speak and read, write, understand, and listen, and if you have this ability, it's kind of like a magic. You can read so many interesting books and listen, of course. If you think that Damien's Down is difficult, you can also listen to my English teacher, who is AJ Hope. Go to his YouTube channel and search for this name, this book. Very interesting, actually. All right, I hope you like this podcast. Remember the freedom you have to give. The second, the management, you have to you have to learn something even though you are having a tough time, a difficult time. The final one is that you have to read a book. I recommend. Okay. I mean, not this book that I recommended, but books are okay. Books are fine. Books are great to improve our life. Okay, in the future podcast, I will be talking about more interesting topics and things and ideas, like what is going on with my life. So until now, bye bye and good luck.